So it's time for the next update on our Project Puma. We've already done a few little jobs to the car, things like the door cards, a bit of tidying here and there. But over the last couple of weeks, a bigger job has reared its head and we need to change the exhaust. I noticed a blow a few weeks ago and it's steadily been getting worse. Now I've got myself a pattern replacement part, and as you can see the tailpipe is unfortunately a mild steel one, whereas the one fitted here is quite a nice shiny one. Now I think this is the original system. In fact I'm fairly sure of it because it's got Ford written on it and it's one piece from the cat back, and Ford, when building these cars, put the exhaust on and then the rear beam afterwards, so the only way to get it off is to cut through it. I'll just start the car up so you can hear what I'm talking about. Now I'll make this quick because I'm stood right next to the exhaust, but you can hear it's a bit raspier than it should be. It's by no means bad, but it's not going to last for very long like this, so it's about time we did something about it. Now I've got a couple of options for cutting through the exhaust. I've got this nice battery powered Ryobi grinder with a 4.5-inch cutting disc on it, but I'm a little bit worried that that won't go around the top of the pipe easy enough and it's going to be awkward. So I've got this bad boy. Before you get anywhere near something like this, PPE is a must. Wish me luck. So I'm not quite able to get around it completely with the 9-inch grinding wheel, just simply because there's not enough access there, and I'm terrified of cutting through a brake pipe or hitting the handbrake cable or something like that. Plus we're quite close to the fuel tank, and of course you've got to be mindful of that, so I don't want any sparks near there. So I can just about finish the job off with the smaller battery powered grinder now. Fingers crossed. Very, very close. This back box has had it, and there we go, it's off. There's your hole, so that was completely shot. Totally knackered. Now I had hoped to retain this stainless steel exhaust trim on the original exhaust because you only get a mild steel one on the new one. But the diameter of the newer one is slightly bigger, so even if I was to be able to get this off, it won't fit here. So maybe that's a project for another day. I'm glad I didn't eat too much during lockdown, otherwise I wouldn't be able to squeeze under here. We've now removed the two cat bolts that hold the catback system to the catalytic converter, and there's a rubber mounting here that I've removed next to the cat bolts, and now that just leaves this one at the back. There we go. So if I can just ease the system back enough to that means I can then drop it down, come out of there. The problem is we're a bit stuck for space under here, so it's tight. But it should come out. Ta-da! Fortunately, the exhausts look relatively close to being the same. You can see that this one was absolutely shot, a bit like the back box. Pop these rubbers off, which I think I'm going to reuse because they look okay. And I forgot to buy any new ones, so yep, that's okay. Bit of top tip, bit of WD-40 on there. Help them slide on a lot easier. Right, so I'm just about to slide the new system on. You can see that I've just gently, precariously balanced it in place. But I do need to fit this nice new gasket between the catback system and the catalyst. I've got the centre section of the exhaust in place now and bolted up to the what I've been calling the cat flange, but it's actually a flexible pipe. The cat is further upstream, I've noticed, but it's now in place and should be roughly in the right position. I've got to put the back box on now, and I've neglected to remember that I need a U-clamp because the old system was one piece and this is two piece. So there's a lesson to make sure you have everything for the job, but hopefully I can just put it on temporarily with a bit of paste, and we can get the U-clamp on later on. The new back box is now mounted in place. I don't have the U-clamp on it yet, so I'm hoping that when I do, it's going to counteract the fact that it isn't quite where I want it to be. But for now, it seems okay. I'll just give it a quick start. Even without the clamp on, I think it sounds a lot better. So hopefully we've cured the problem. So it's a couple of days later, the Puma's back home and I've got hold of the exhaust clamp and a couple of new rubbers in an effort to reposition this tailpipe to make it a bit better. It is better, it still does droop a little bit to the right, but it's the best I can get it for now. And having looked at other Pumas with this type of exhaust pipe on, it seems it's a pretty common problem. Now I should point out that if you're going to do a job like this and you still have the original system on, you don't necessarily have to use an enormous grinding wheel to get through it, especially if you're not confident with it. A hacksaw will do the job, although it will take you a lot longer, of course. It's done. I'm not happy that it doesn't have the shiny stainless tailpipe, but it's certainly a lot better than before because it doesn't leak, so I'm chalking that down to a win. So one of the other jobs I've been meaning to do on the Puma for a while is to sort out both of the headlights. As you can see, this one is
Oh no!
very cloudy, aged. So I've masked around the bodywork so I can basically rub it down with a bit of wet and dry paper, going up the grades as I go, so it's nice and smooth and I've got a cloudy finish, and then I can polish it up to a shine using a rotary polisher and a rubbing compound. And here's one I did earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and it's lasted pretty well, so hopefully I can achieve the same sort of result here. So I've now finished with the wet and dry paper. I've been building up the grades as I go. It's still a little bit cloudy, as you would expect, but hopefully that will come out with the compound. Now I've got this rotary polisher, so I'm just going to put a bit of compound on and let's give it a go. Just work that in, careful not to hit the paints. Right, the tape's come away at the bottom, so I just want to be a bit careful with that bit. Some quite deep stone chips on this one, but it's already coming back really well, so with a bit more work we should be there. They're almost as good as new. There's a few deep chips in which I'm never going to get out unless I really attack them, so I'm going to leave those for now, but I'm happy with the result. And to seal it up, I'm just going to put a coat of wax on top. I've heard that some people lacquer them, but I'll stick with the wax for now and see how I get on, but it's a massive improvement, so I'm really happy with that. Right, one of the other jobs I've got to do on this car is to sort out the head unit. It doesn't have any kind of working display, so when you're trying to listen to the radio, you don't know what station you're listening to. So I have robbed a much smaller unit from my Mini. So to get this out, I need to use these radio keys here, one on each side, and then the radio slides out. Now I'm a bit worried about this hands-free kit, but I think I can just about get it past. I don't want to lose that hands-free kit, despite the fact that everyone seems to hate it. And you've also got this one with a little pink wire in, which I'm assuming powers up the amp in the back, but I don't know that for sure. So if anyone does know, please let me know. Now you'll notice the aperture created is a lot bigger than a standard DIN size radio, so I ordered a handy fascia plate, ordered a silver one to match the dash, a black one arrived, but there you go. Now this cage has been in a multitude of cars, so it's perhaps not in the best of fettle, but it should be fine if I put it in the right way at least. The modern head unit uses an international standard, the ISO plug, as you can see here. So this handy adapter converts the Ford wiring to ISO. Straight in, and that slides home. Put the faceplate on, surround on. There we go. Switch the ignition on, check it works. And there we go, because of copyright, that's gone off straight away. And happy days, job done.